Welcome to a new season of Lifestyle Indy. I'm Julie Patterson.
And I'm Paul Poteet, and we're jumping right back into the stories again. And the story of some people who help folks through a difficult period.
Yeah, the group is called Morning Light, and they run a home called the Abby Hunt Bryce Home. It's basically a place for homeless people to get hospice. It's very, very cool. You'll find out how you can help.
And then we dive into the big business of peanut butter.
Do you love peanut butter?
I love peanut butter. The whole nut family is fine, but just to stick a spoon in there and just have
a peanut butter spoon.
The peanut butter spoon.
There's a family who started small batch peanut butter. They started making it to teach their kids a lesson in small business. What do you think of that?
This is great.
I know, good idea, huh?
We're going to dive in.
Okay.
Hopefully their business plan is smooth.
Yeah, or crunchy. We'll find out.
We're also going to meet a man who makes beautiful music. And he made it recently in front of our Lifestyle Indy cameras.
Oh, he's so talented. He's going to play the piano like you've not seen in some time. So very cool.
So we got music and we've got food too. Now these are oats that they just sit around your house overnight. They're just waiting for you to have breakfast.
It's a new way to think about oats. Overnight oats, Paul. They sort of sit and marinate in some milk and maybe some fruit and some deliciousness, and then you wake up and bam, pop them into the microwave and you got breakfast.
I'm liking the idea of this, and we'll show you how it all works. Yeah. That's all coming up too in the next few minutes. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, we appreciate you being here. Enjoy the show.
It's Lifestyle Indy.
Lifestyle Indy is made possible with support from Westport Homes, dedicated to building homes for every chapter of life, with plans and details that match customer-specific needs and style. Additional funding is provided by Altman, Poindexter, and Wyatt attorneys, serving clients throughout Central Indiana with wills, trusts, and estates, with over 70 years of combined experience.
Okay, as a parent, Paul, were you good about teaching your children lessons, kind of life lessons as they grew up?
Yeah, you try to teach by example. Hopefully, that works. I'm intrigued by this story because it is important to teach your kids about money, and it'd be great if they pick up some things about business. And what family doesn't like peanut butter? I know ours loves it.
Oh my goodness, we love peanut butter in our house.
I can eat it with a spoon.
So
I do eat it with a spoon.
We call that a peanut butter spoon at my house. Very original.
This is a story of a family that not only loves peanut butter, but is making a business out of it.
Oh my goodness, to teach their kids about small business. I like that.
Yeah, it's all about be happy.
Oh.
We're here today at Be Happy Peanut Butter in Zionsville with husband and wife team John and Kathy Weed. What started off as a small experiment inside of your home has really blossomed into a nationwide business. You guys are selling up to 100,000 jars of peanut butter a year.
Yeah.
How did this come about?
It really started in our kitchen with our kids. When I would cook, I needed something for them to do, so I would let them have a jar of peanut butter and get out some mix-ins and say, have at it, and their friends would come and eat it, and then John said, I think there's something here. I think we could do this.
Because John, you had tasted a peanut butter during your travel. I think it was to Michigan or something.
Yeah, we've traveled, and we just get peanut butter. Our families always like peanut butter. I've always eaten it with a spoon, so for me, that was kind of the goal, was let's just make something that we like and enjoy, and let's put things in there that we like. And so we were doing that and giving it to family and friends, and they liked it. And next thing we knew, we thought, okay, well, let's do something and maybe teach the kids a little bit about running a small business.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we had a friend here in Zionsville that had a commercial kitchen, and she said if you want to use it, and we could sell it at the farmer's market.
So your goal was just to be at the Zionsville farmer's market, and
Just for the summer.
Just for the summer.
Yeah.
Right.
And what happened? I mean, you surpassed that goal.
Stores started calling. They approached us and said, hey, we've heard about your peanut butter and we'd really like to carry it. So I thought, uh-oh, this might be more than just a summer project.
Yeah.
So it just started with a few stores starting to carry us.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I love the premise of your company, Be Happy. Where did all that come into play?
I'm a pretty positive person anyway. So when we had committed to doing the Zionsville Farmers Market, we thought, okay, now we need to come up with a name, because what are we going to call this stuff? And I was putting the kids to bed, and we've got a piece of artwork in our house that I'm sure everyone kind of has something like it, and it says, Weed Family Rules, say please and thank you. And in the middle of the sign, one of the things said, be happy. And I just walked by it and I saw that, and I thought, I kind of like that. Yeah. And so we try to do fun things with the name. So we've got flavors called Dream Big and Go Lucky and Pay It Forward and Count Your Blessings and those kind of things. So part of it was, again, we're going to do this partly as a family, and I want to have this be fun and positive for the kids. And so I tried to just find things that relayed that in our flavors.
So what do you think it is about your peanut butter that sets you apart from some of the others?
I think it's how it's made. We use really high quality ingredients, and then it's just different because we're not making a singular peanut butter. It has mix-ins. So, our chocolate toffee has Rice Krispies and Heath toffee and 2 different kinds of chocolate. It's just kind of unique and different.
Yeah, I'd say it's both kind of a combination of the texture is really different.
Yeah.
We call the texture smunchy because it's somewhere between smooth and crunchy.
That feeling of walking through the grocery aisle and seeing your peanut butter on the shelf has got to be surreal. What does that feel like?
It's still fantastic to walk in, especially when my kids are with me, and we're like, there's Be Happy, there's our peanut butter.
And speaking of your kids, I think it's such a neat lesson that you're teaching them. Your youngest child has really kind of surprised you in all this.
Yeah, he was in 2nd grade when we started this, and he really loves the whole business aspect. And John, being a financial advisor, does quarterly meetings with us and with the kids so that they can learn all the business terms and understand fixed costs and net profits. And so Sawyer now goes back to his 2nd grade classroom every year and gives a talk about owning a small business. So he really loves it.
Yeah. That is really cool. And that is a testament to the 2 of you. I can't wait to try this peanut butter. I have been salivating just looking at it.
Good.
But yeah, make sure you check them out. They are local. They're here in Zionsville still. We're so lucky to have you in our own backyard. Get a jar and give it as a gift and try it yourselves. And I guarantee that you will be happy. For LifeStyle Indy, I'm Heather MacWilliams. Bon appetit.
We were just comparing notes, musical notes, a moment ago about my lack
Not
of
those kind of notes.
I can't sing. I can't dance. I have no
I'm
rhythm.
so sorry. Why is that? Is that a guy thing or?
I don't know. All I've ever done is play music, and that's as close as I've been to being
songs
musical.
on the radio.
Yeah, pretty much playing songs on the.
I can play the piano. I grew up playing the drums, singing in the choir, that kind of thing. So I love music. I have a great appreciation for it, and I don't think you have to be a musician or magician to appreciate music. So Joshua Thompson is a local guy. He's on the board with Arts for Lawrence, and you're going to meet this guy. Can he ever play the piano? Tickling the ivories.
He is musical.
Check it out.
How important it is to celebrate the arts here in our city.
Well, the Art and Soul is a really important program to the Arts Council of Indianapolis because it gets to celebrate African American art and artists in Indianapolis and put it on a platform that it may not get otherwise. And so we think it's really important to support those artists and show everyone that the work of African American artists and that art is really important to Indianapolis and to the world and to the nation and everywhere else. And so we really want to make sure that these artists are supported, feel supported, and that people come out and celebrate everything that they're doing every day.
And the Arts Council is putting in a lot of work to really celebrate the diversity and the different kind of artists in our city. Tell me about the mission and the kind of passion and work that you guys are putting in every day.
Yeah, well, the Arts Council does a lot. We have our hands everywhere, and I really like to say that we're invested in creating a thriving arts and culture scene in Indianapolis. And so we do that in a variety of ways, whether that's providing fellowships to individual artists, providing grants and general operating support to arts organizations, supporting creative placekeeping and public art projects, connecting arts with Indy 500, whatever it may be. We're really looking for different ways to make sure that the arts and culture are being prioritized along with everything else when we think of what makes a thriving city and a city that people want to live and work in.
Oh, that performance. I'm here with Joshua Thompson, a local pianist, a classical musician. I mean, to see you out there, it was breathtaking. How did you get started and to have a talent that big?
Born and raised here in Indianapolis, and started piano when I was about 5 years old. I have an older sister. And when you have an older sibling, you want to do everything that he or she does. She was a great pianist, and that's how I got started. So from age 5 until graduated college, I was playing, practicing diligently, pouring through music, and that's how it all began, and here I am.
Now, where did you go to school here in Indianapolis, and like, did that help kind of nurture this love?
Absolutely. So I'm a product of public education. Cannot speak highly enough of the academic and the social benefits. So I'm a North Central Panther, class of 2000, and there was something about that Performing Arts Center when I was there a few years before and a few years after. Just cranked out a lot of incredible musicians, people in theater and acting, you name it. That was the golden age, in my opinion, of theater and arts, everything at North Central.
And how important do you think it is to kind of stay within your community and help some of the kids? We saw some of the little eyes on you today. Nice. And I mean, what does that feel like to see them looking up to you and seeing someone that looks like them, that maybe comes from them and sees them with this remarkable skill?
For me, it's the whole point. That's why I do what I do. And it means so much because I didn't have people who looked like me performing this type of music, and didn't keep me from doing it, but sometimes it helps as a motivator. I think that's the whole point about staying here locally. I've had opportunities to go elsewhere. The work it's still needed here. And there's so much work to be done and so many other folks to mentor like they mentored me when I was growing up. Not to mention the cost of living is still just fine. So those whole combination of things, I'm tied to this city. This is my home, and I want to make sure that my home is even better for those who are coming after me than it was when I was growing up.
Now, aside from the beautiful music that was coming out of the piano, the first thing I noticed were those bright socks. A little something you do to
it
when
is.
You're playing?
So some of my friends in the community call me, my nickname is the Barefoot Beethoven.
Okay.
So I kind of like that. And so for that reason, I never practice with my shoes on, just because it doesn't feel natural. I like to be flesh to flesh. So it turned into a thing. And so now I'm always on the hunt for really funky looking socks. And so the louder, the wilder, trust me, the better, and they will make their debut. And sometimes that's more of a calling card and memorable, maybe, than my actual performances themselves. But I have fun figuring out my sock game. That's the fun part.
It was so much fun, so beautiful. Thank you for what you are bringing to this city. You guys, for now, back to you. I'm Amanda Clark with LifeStyle Indy.
All right, it's a tough subject, but sooner or later, everyone deals with it, or sometimes they deal with a situation where somebody is
a family member going into hospice.
Yeah,
that's what
where
you're saying.
they know that things are terminal and that the end is in sight, and now it's a matter of staying comfortable. But this is a different group of folks who are going through it.
It is. They're amazing. The group is called Morning Light, and they support a couple of different communities. One of them, the Abby Hunt Bryce Home, which is a facility that helps with homeless going through hospice. You're going to learn about the home and maybe how you can support it too.
On a quiet street on the north side of Indianapolis sit two very special residences, the Abby Hunt Bryce Home and Penwood Place.
So Dixie, when did you come to the Abby Price house?
April 2nd, 2018.
Okay.
I had 2 weeks to live.
What do you attribute the fact that you are glowing right now and doing very well?
Well, I had to get off of a lot of the medicines I was on. Now I'm not on anything but ibuprofen.
How do you feel?
I feel great.
Wow, that's amazing.
I'm sorry, I'm on a cough medicine too because now the cancer's affecting my sinuses.
I see, okay.
But other than that,
that's amazing.
it, and that's exactly how I want it.
The Abbey Home, as it's fondly known, is independently funded by the group Morning Light.
Well, Morning Light's a nonprofit that is a successor to the VNS Foundation.
Visiting Nurse Services.
Yes, that's right. And so when the Franciscan Alliance started working with the VNS back in 2011, the VNS Foundation went off on its own. And we became Morning Light because every new day is a gift to appreciate. And we thought, what could better tie together a hospice patient who wakes up to another day, or a senior who wakes up to a safe and comfortable apartment and has their rest of their life pretty much settled in a place that they could call home.
We are totally self-supporting through contributions. And it is a lot. It's, you know, to provide this home setting. Yeah.
Morning Light's Winter Beach Ball is their biggest fundraiser. The idea for the beach ball came from an unlikely place. Dean Metcalf, the producer of the Bob and Tom Show, a local morning radio program.
I work around a lot of creative people, you know, and so for us, this isn't really a big deal just to, you know, go, oh, okay, so February, Indiana, let's twist it up, you know, we do a beach ball.
In prison by the way it could have been.
I lost each of my parents to cancer.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and when I was fairly young, my dad, I was only 19.
That is young.
And I remember being, you know, in the hospital with him, and for whatever reason, when I was 19, it just clicked, you know, and I thought, man, we are so lucky to have insurance. And he's lucky, you know, to have a family and be surrounded. And for whatever reason, at 19, it just hit me, gosh, what would you do if you didn't have that? So all those years later, I see this thing, I thought, oh, what a cool idea.
It's a unique service that every city, and especially every large city, should have. Right now, I believe from my research, there's only a handful of free hospice residences around the country. I think that we serve the largest metropolitan area now.
It's a difficult place when your parent is lying there and there's really not a whole lot you can do. But I knew she was being well taken care of. I didn't worry, you know, if something were going to happen, that somebody wouldn't be there to help her, assist her.
The Abby Hunt Bryce Home has received 3 prestigious awards in the past few months, including the local Michael Carroll Leadership Award and a national award for serious illness management innovation from Boston College in Massachusetts.
When you talk about hospice, sometimes you think, you know, final journey, and I say that a lot, or the last days and months. But here it's really about living. It's living your life to the fullest in the days, in the moments that you have left.
It's up to him when I go.
You're right.
So.
Yeah. So hopefully it'll be a good long while.
I hope so.
Unless you're ready. But
yeah, I'm ready now. I mean, I'm
mentally prepared.
Ready. Mm-hmm. You know, that's the next great adventure.
Oh, yes.
It's, I can't think of anything more exciting.
Paul, are you a big fan of a healthy breakfast?
I love breakfast. Maybe it's from the years of mornings.
That could be.
That could have something to do with it. But I will sit down with a big plate of eggs and be a happy man.
What about oatmeal? That's a good hearty breakfast.
Sticks to your ribs, as my mom used to say.
And there's the old-fashioned way. You just put some in a pan and add some ingredients. Or there's overnight oats. Take some of the morning work out of it. You do it in the evening, and then surprise, when you wake up, it's ready to just pop into the microwave and yum it on down.
You flop out of bed, and there it is waiting for you.
It is. And would you like to see how it's made?
I'd like to see this in action.
How they're done? Are you a steel cut fan, an instant fan? You don't know what I'm talking about, do you?
Yeah, I don't know. Mrs. P likes the steel cut, so I'm going to vote for that.
It's healthy.
Hi, I'm Mary Dubinin. Wouldn't you love waking up every morning to breakfast that's already made and waiting for you? Well, let me tell you, with just a few minutes of prep time the night before and a few simple ingredients, you could wake up every morning to a nutritious, filling, and absolutely delicious breakfast. It starts with some oats and liquid and really just a container. But before we get to that very simple recipe, I want to spend some time talking about the basic oats 101. You know, when you walk down the cereal aisle in any grocery store, you see all kinds of different oats, from the steel cut oats to the old-fashioned, the rolled, the quick oats, and even the instant oats. And you may be wondering to yourself, is there any difference between what oat I should buy, and is any one particular variety healthier than the other? Well, this is where I'm going to give you a little bit of basic information about oats. It all starts with the oat kernel, and we call that the groat. And from the kernel here, you could actually cook it. It'll take you about 45 minutes to cook that kernel, but you'll get a nice chewy texture, and you can actually eat oats that way. But if we go one step further, if we toast these oat kernels, and then we take some steel blades and cut them in half or in thirds, now we have this product over here called steel cut oats. We've actually reduced the cooking temperature, or the cooking time, I should say, by about 20 minutes, and you get this really nutty texture to the oats. Now, if we take that original oat kernel and we steam it, flatten it, and roll it, and we dry it, we now have the old-fashioned oats, or sometimes called rolled oats. And this is probably the type of oats you're most familiar with. If we take these old-fashioned oats and chop them up into smaller pieces, now we have the oats that are called and referred to as quick oats. So all forms of oats actually have the same amount of fiber, and they're all considered whole grains. So it's really up to you in terms of what you really like in terms of texture and how much time you have in the morning to cook them. Now, talking about the fiber, that's actually what really makes the significance or the nutrient benefits of oats. The fiber has been shown, number one, to decrease our risk for heart disease as well as diabetes. It helps lower that bad cholesterol. The other thing with this really good fiber that we find in oats is that it helps with that gut bacteria. And we're really finding out a lot in the research world how important it is to make sure that our bacteria are really fed well. And the last thing, fiber keeps us full longer. So with all those benefits of the fiber from oats, there's no reason why we shouldn't start every day with a nice bowl of oatmeal. So here's this quick recipe. Like I said, if you've got 5 minutes the night before, all you need are really 2 simple ingredients. I'm going to start with half a cup of the rolled oats, or you can actually use the quick oats, and you get to choose your liquid or whatever beverage you want to go ahead and mix this in. So it's equal parts oats and equal parts liquid. I've actually came across some of this oat milk the other day, so I'm going to use that as my beverage, but you can certainly use any dairy beverage or any other plant-based beverages like soy milk, cashew milk, coconut milk, and so forth. Find a couple of empty containers. Put in your half a cup of oats, your half a cup of beverage. And here again is where you might actually, if you don't want to use a beverage, you can actually substitute that half a cup of liquid beverage with any type of flavored yogurt. Mix it up just a little bit. You can add in some vanilla extract or cinnamon, or you can put in about a teaspoon of honey for some little bit of sweetness, but honestly, that's all you really need. Put the lid on and let it sit in the refrigerator overnight. And the next morning, you will wake up to a delicious little serving of cook-free oats. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Depending on your flavor and what you have in the house, everybody in your family can have a different topping to put on that particular overnight oats. I like to start with maybe some fresh fruit. I had some fresh pineapple in my refrigerator, so I'm going to put that on top with some blueberries and strawberries. And then I'm going to top it with something crunchy like some walnuts. But you can also use chia seed, flax seed, or even hemp seed. Kind of gives it a nice little crunch, but it's also adding some of those great omega-3s to your diet. If you have some dried fruit in the house, you can add that as well. And there you have it, a quick, easy version of overnight oats. I'm Mary Dubinin with LifeStyle Indy.
That was a good time. We had some good food, good music, interesting information, a whole menu.
I agree. It was like going to a restaurant, only it was a TV show, so it's kind of different. But
and we won't, give you a bill at the end. This was all free.
But you can tip if you want.
See you next time on Lifestyle Indy.
See you then.
For all things Lifestyle Indy, just visit our website. That's lifestyleindy.com. It connects this TV show with the radio show and the magazine. We've got useful information for people all over central Indiana. And you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Pick up Lifestyle Indy magazine at most Kroger stores and libraries. Look for us all over Indy.
Listen to Lifestyle Indy Radio Saturday afternoons at 4:30 p.m. on Freedom 95. Lifestyle Indy Radio. Your life, your style.
Lifestyle Indy is made possible with support from Westport Homes, dedicated to building homes for every chapter of life, with plans and details that match customer-specific needs and style. Additional funding is provided by Altman, Poindexter, and Wyatt attorneys, serving clients throughout Central Indiana with wills, trusts, and estates, with over 70 years of combined experience.